Let's get a quick take on Jefferson County School District making the decision to not tear down and rebuild Columbine High School. The district superintendent, Jason Glass, said there is not enough support to move forward with the idea. Patty Cahoon from Westward, it seems like the district got this one right. What do you think?
Well, they would have gotten it righter if they had listened to us the day that the proposal came out. Saved a lot of money, saved a lot of time. Clearly the solution is not 20 years later to knock down a building, keep the name, but their plan to instead have more security so those looky-loos stay away, that makes a lot more sense.
David Kopel from the Independence Institute and DU Law School, you have brought up the idea of a large fence or a wall kind of surround the property and make it a little bit more private. Have you heard other proposals like that in the news this week?
Well, the news talked about securing the perimeter better, and as Patty said, having more security. Not necessarily a giant Trump wall to keep out the undesirables and the truly deplorable people who come just to gawk for their own sick reasons. But for once, this is a situation where public officials did the right thing by not instantly implementing something that the CIO panel unanimously agreed with, because the people who really matter in this decision are the community. And so they took the time to really hear from the community and found there wasn't the support for that.
Ian Silveri joins us, Executive Director at Progress Now Colorado, and also Denver Post columnist. It's great to have you back on the panel. Ian, it looks like the district made the right call on this one. Are there other steps it should be taking now that they've gone through at least the community input to protect the students at Columbine?
It's a good question. I think the reason why they came to the right conclusion was because they did listen to the community, so I think continuing those conversations is important. As a Jefferson County resident myself, I'm glad they came to that conclusion, and I hope that we continue having those conversations so we can figure out what we can do to, secure the area, but without turning it into some kind of like weird prison or police state.
Natasha Gardner, Articles Editor 5280, rounds out the panel. If the district got this right and they're looking to do more things for the students at Columbine, is it over? Is there kind of a sigh of relief, or basically there's a recognition that it's probably not going to go away anytime soon?
I don't think it's over. Unfortunately for that community and for the families affected by it, it can never be over. I do think it was a good question to ask, and I think they did it in a smart way to the community. It was interesting that they did it at the 20th anniversary as well, because I think it gives them a little bit of breathing room to maybe stop some of these conversations in the very near future. What I will say with a fair amount of certainty is that this is going to continue to come up again and again. At one point, I wonder if it'll move into more of a question of this is an aging building, how do we repair it? And there were already some questions about that as well, too, because eventually you do have to replace school buildings.